Geek Citadel.
You know what she did
Jody.
to me? She's a witch! A dirty, rotten witch!
What's going on here?
She's a witch! I'm telling you! Jody Holmes is a witch!
Come on, let's go home. Come on. Get in the house.
Different or weird. That's what people call you when they don't understand you. The thing about being different is that you cannot hide it. It's always on your sleeve for others to see and judge. For Jody, being different means something that no one else could understand. Since she can remember, a spirit named Aiden has always been with her. It's a tale of life, loss, and love as Aiden and Jody slip through the years becoming familiar with each other.
Look, I'm totally exhausted and thirsty, and I have no clue where we fucking are, so just play nice and give me a break, okay?
Jody just wants to be a normal girl, but that's impossible when you're practically a commodity to be passed around. Jody's parents gave her away as a research tool to a man named Dawson. Under the watchful eye of Colin Dawson, Jody grows from a sad little girl to a troubled teenager that's eventually traded to the CIA as a weapon. Jody grows tired of being used and takes off to lead her own life, but the government can't let such an investment go to waste and begin hunting Jody like a dog. Beyond Two Souls has taken great care to hire actors to portray emotionally damaged characters. I used to believe that LA Noire nailed facial capture the best, but Beyond Two Souls has a way of defying the uncanny valley with its accurate representation of human faces. To say that this title looks impressive would be understating the measure of beauty accomplished here. The lighting, weather effects, and water streaming from faces twisted in despair and uplifted by joy are an accomplishment unseen to this measure on consoles. Unfortunately, the story does not captivate past a series of cliches. Jody gets into all sorts of weird situations and life lessons as a youth, but it's not like we haven't seen these things in TV shows and movies already. Some of these story moments are taken straight out of other movies. This is all well and fine until more and more show up, and the story takes us through similar reenactments of these movie moments. It's in these portions of mimicry where Beyond Two Souls loses its identity, and it becomes a jumble of stories taken from other media. The best example of this is the way that the narrative weaves together. It's a jumbled mess, and I spend all my time trying to piece together these broken pieces. What I could decipher from what I saw is that Jody wants to be a normal girl, acts like a normal girl, but never gets to be the normal girl she's trying to be. This leads to a lot of crying and Aiden becoming angry and busting things up like an enraged man-child.
Stop it, Aiden. They don't give a shit if we break everything in this goddamn room.
When she's not a youth, it's all about her leaping around battlefields and investigating haunting corridors. Personally, I'd say that Beyond Two Souls excels best when it treats itself as a horror and investigation title. All the other encounters are stimulating, of course, but not as outside of the box as her encounters with the other entities. Jody will navigate darkened hallways discovering what happened to the dead, or wade through an unforgiving sea surrounded by murderous entities. Not to downplay the dramatic encounters with the humans of the title, but it's the ghostly world of Beyond that interests me the most. The gameplay takes two directions in Two Souls. Most of the time, the player will directly control Jody and move about the terrain observing items, opening doors, etc. When she's involved in action sequences, the title will become a quick-time event driven on slowing down the action to make precise button inputs. Players must follow the movements of Jody on the screen to stop her from succumbing to the attacks of her enemies. In other areas, Jody will slink about in the darkness, moving from cover to cover in Metal Gear fashion to avoid detection. On the other side of the spectrum, players can press triangle to switch to Aiden at most times during gameplay. Aiden can help Jody out in a variety of ways by smashing items, healing people, choking enemies, discovering someone's fate, or possessing a body to thin out the opposition. Aiden is integral to Jody's survival, so get used to switching back and forth between the two. A second player can also take control of Aiden locally by use of controller or tablet. When the game isn't forcibly making the player do something streamlined to the story, the simple act of walking around can feel like moving a tank. Jody will also repeat her animations in a 3-second span, and it's pretty jarring to see her do the same reactions so quickly. In addition, the dialogue and overall gameplay choices did not feel as if they were impacted by my actions. Despite some small changes near the end of the game, I don't feel as if I had any control over Jody's actions through most of the title. And even some parts where I had control felt as if they were already defined for me. The experiment at the beginning of the game is a good example of this. During this tutorial, Jody learns how to use Aiden by spying on flashcards and knocking objects about in the room. I decided that I would only knock over items when they told me to. Regardless, the woman in the room becomes antsy at this point and out of fear, runs for the door. Of course, Aiden has stopped causing all sorts of havoc in the room, but the scene plays out as if Aiden destroyed the room regardless of if I did or not.
You have to stop now, Jody. The test is over. You need to stop.
Jody. It's over, Jody. It's over.
It's the perfect example of the game playing me so that it can fulfill its desires of storytelling. Ultimately, I did enjoy the visuals, acting, and storytelling for Beyond Two Souls. Ellen Page, Willem Dafoe, Ryan Winter, and Kadeem Hardison are stellar in their performances. My problem was with the script itself, which throws in a wide variety of lame lines and forced emotional reactions. If this was a movie, I would have enjoyed seeing it play out and would never have watched it again. As a game, I can't really say that it was much of one. I almost felt like I had no control beyond the rudimentary stuff like taking a shower or tossing and turning in bed. Beyond Two Souls receives 3 stars out of 5 from Geek Citadel. It's okay to make a game more like a movie, but don't forget it's still more of a game than a movie. For more reviews and opinion pieces, visit geekcitadel.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.